video series on the guiding principles on internal displacement, why and how they matter. My name is Jimenez-Damary, and I am the United Nations Special Rapporteur on the human rights of internally displaced persons. In the previous video, we discussed Principle 1 on equality and non-discrimination, and today we will discuss Principle 2 on the application of the principles regardless of the legal status and also without any adverse distinction. I suggest that you have a copy of the guiding principles with you at hand. So Principle 2, Paragraph 1 reads like this: These principles shall be observed by all authorities, groups and persons, irrespective of their legal status, and applied without any adverse distinction. The observance of these principles shall not affect the legal status of any authorities, groups, or persons involved. So you can see that these apply actually to the authorities, groups, and of persons, or including non-state armed groups, by stressing that their observance does not affect the legal status of anyone. Paragraph 1 seeks to preempt their use for political ends. And this is really important because in the end of the day, we have to protect the internally displaced persons. Moreover, the notion of responsibility for such acts committed by non-state actors and failed states, this is really looked at to the extent that private behavior or such behavior amounts to possible crimes against international law and where non-state actors may be held responsible. Under international criminal law, war crimes and crimes against humanity may also be committed by non-state armed groups. Paragraph 2 is likewise very important, and it reads, These principles shall not be interpreted as restricting, modifying, or impairing the provisions of any international human rights or international humanitarian law instrument or the rights granted to persons under domestic law. In particular, these principles are without prejudice to the right to seek and enjoy asylum in other countries. So the first part of this paragraph really constitutes a minimum standard, and that the more favorable provision of human rights law, international humanitarian law, and domestic law shall not be restricted, modified, or impaired by their application. And this is for the benefit of internally displaced persons. And lastly, internally displaced persons shall retain their option to leave their countries to seek international protection as refugees or as asylum seekers. This paragraph counters any argument that assuring protection for IDPs can somehow justify restricting their access to asylum in other countries. Thanks for tuning in, and in the next video, we will continue with Principle 3. See you then.